is one of our
Okay,
rock
hold on.
stars.
One sec. All right, so here we are. We're recording now. So this is Girl Talk with, my name is Krista Taylor. My friend Lori Dawson is here. Lori, tell us who's joining us today.
Darlene Fros is joining us, and I was going to go into this big, long intro about her many gifts and talents and special qualities, and she said, no, don't do that. Just say, I'm a teammate, and here's what I have to say. And so I'm still going to say she's an award-winning photographer. She has a business called Story Photography. Brilliant and creative and innovative, and I love her work. But the videos that she has done with the kiddos this summer, and the people too, are going to prove to be a real asset for all of us girls. So she's interviewed kids, and I've said for a while that kids are my heart. People are my heart. So watch for those. And Dar's having an event next Thursday night, and she's
Friday night.
Oh golly, yeah, 13th. She's got some sweet ideas to share with us, real insights, and so there. That doesn't really do her justice, but it's time for me to stop talking.
No problem. Thanks. It's good to be back on here. Not sure if my picture's coming up. Does it come up?
Oh yeah,
yeah, you're good.
Fantastic.
Okay, so my little story that I was saying before is that I was all set up in another room, and people that have watched my videos know that I, excuse me, that I have problems with my Wi-Fi. So I dumped my coffee, and then I had to move up here. So yeah, it's a good thing we started a little bit late. But yeah, one of the things that that Lori and I have talked about breaking the mold and duplication, and there's a whole pile of stuff. So if you think about what the mold might be for you, that's going to kind of dictate how you feel about your business. So breaking the mold doesn't necessarily mean breaking the rules all the time, but wanted to go through some things that have changed how I do things, so that just my journey might help your journey. It may hit a chord a little bit for some of you, so I don't apologize for that, because that's how I had to grow as well. So, but starting off with one of the biggest hurdles that I have had in the Vox business is following protocol. So I do things on my own. I guess a loner, not really. I like people. I love people. I can't stand being around people too long, but
tell it like it is, girl.
I'm pretty black and white. Maybe I'm a little bit too much like Terry, but I'm an introvert. I totally 100% introvert. I like my cat and my space and my computer and my photography, and I will be with people if I have to, but if they're hurting, I will be by their side instantly. And that's part of who I am. And I'm going to get into that one, but about following protocol. So one of the biggest things that Vox on social media has promoted is the whole duplication thing. And before I tell you not to duplicate, it's very important that you do. And that has become clear to me as well, because just because I don't like to duplicate doesn't mean that my teammates won't benefit from duplication. So don't put your teammates into your mold as much as you don't want to be put into social media's mode. So that's a very interesting thing to note, that it's just because it's not good for you doesn't mean it's not good for your team. So follow the rules, but be willing to break them. But if you're going to break them right. So
I like that.
That's a little takeaway there. There are a lot of people that are looking for a checklist. And that was something that I was actually looking for. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So then, tell me what I'm supposed to do. I may not agree with you, but just tell me what I'm supposed to do. So that's something that those of you that are building a team or want to encourage your team, give them the tools, even if you're not using them. So that's part of my, breaking the mold and keeping the mold at the same time. So
I'll interject and say, when I worked in health and safety, there was a little buzz phrase, and it was, all accidents are preventable, but you can't prevent all accidents.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that dichotomy, right? Dar?
It is. It's totally, because what it comes down to is you have to be true to yourself. And if you're not, people are going to know that. They're going to know that you're miserable. They're going to know that you're not 100% in, even though you're 100% in, because you're hesitating. And that goes back to, I don't know how many months ago, I was on one of the Monday night training calls talking about who you are, because there's so much talk about why you're doing what you're doing. So your why is so important. And I don't want to take away from that. But in light of our topic, I'm also going to say, break that mold. It's not always about your why. It's about who you are. So your who is going to dictate how you develop your why. So as an example, I'm a massage therapist. I love helping people. I love helping them feel better with their health and wellness, that sort of thing. But there's another side to it. And a girlfriend of mine actually had to drop her license because her hands were so bad. And she was devastated because I'm not a massage therapist anymore, she said. And I'm like, but that's not who you are. That's what you did with who you are.
Yes.
That is key, because when you understand who you are, it will fall down into everything that you do. So when I turned 40, all of people that I knew were either climbing mountains or running marathons. And I'm like, so not there. I don't do that kind of stuff. So what am I going to do when I turn 40 for my big thing? So I joined a network marketing company. I actually sold jockey clothing for about a year, and I did really good. But a lot of that came from who I am, because myself as a helper, I wasn't selling clothing. I was helping somebody feel good about who they were in what they wore. So transition that into what you do. It's not about you selling a sock. Find out who you are. If you're an educator, educate people about the socks, they'll buy them. If you're a helper, enable them to receive benefit from the socks. That's who you are. If you're the mom, I know we've talked about that with another lady from Vox at a event. Like, she's like, I don't know who I am. And so I said, what do people look at you like? Well, I'm the mom. You know, I take care of all my workers. I take care of all my staff. You know, I remind them to drink their water. And I said, then go be a mom. Go sell socks being a mom. Care for people. Lecture them when they're not doing what they're supposed to do, like wearing their socks. Be a mom if that's who you are. So that's where following protocol is one thing, but following who you are and being true to who you are is very important. If you're going to break the rules, break them because it's who you are, and use that for that.
With a positive outcome in mind, like
totally.
People might just break the rules because they're rebels, and that doesn't go anywhere, right?
Yes.
So yeah, have an objective in mind and have it be a positive one. And Dar, I've watched you do this for a couple of years now, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You're like a stallion that we couldn't tame, but you were just kind of, getting places. And I thought, I'm watching this because it's absolutely intriguing.
I don't know if I should be saying thank you to that. I'm not sure. But you're right. I don't follow the rules. I try and be a little bit discreet about that.
Yes.
But I'm also learning that the rules are there for a reason. So if you're going to break them, like I said, have a good reason, and it better be because of who you are, not because you're a rebel.
Right. I love it.
So following protocol was one. The other one that I know Lori and I have talked about is following the trends. So Vegas, we had Eric Youre, and this year we had Ray Higdon. And they each have their way of doing stuff. They each have their, I guess their trend of how they do things. So if people have joined the Rank Masters, they know that Ray Higdon is big into following, cold calling almost, or recruiting without actually making rapport, that sort of thing. It's kind of like they've got their way of doing it, and that's good. That's okay. If it's not following your beliefs or what you want to do, that's okay. But take what they have to say, because somebody on your team may need exactly that. So allow the trends to happen. You don't have to follow them, but don't close off to them either. Because somewhere down the line, you're going to need that training, or you're going to need that type of thing. And
that may be the card to play at that point.
Exactly. So the following trends as far as social media goes, I know Terry has talked about the 10-4-1, or the ratio between your personal posts, your business posts, and I can't remember what the other one was.
Yeah.
I hate posting stuff because I've been burned.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why I'm not on social media a lot. I've gotten a lot better at it. I have been posting more. But there's a reason why I resisted that. And this is my point to say, and this is an important point. So if you're writing down, I don't know if you're a note taker, but it's okay not to follow the training, but you need to understand why you don't want to.
Yeah.
Because that's big. If you don't know why you're resisting, dig deep and find out, because there's a reason why you're resisting. For me, I didn't want to post because I've been burned. I've been burned by my sister. I've been burned by trolls. I've been burned by a stalker. You know, like there's a history in my social media that says, don't put yourself out there. Something's going to happen. And in my state of being at some of those times, it hurt. And I was down emotionally for quite a while. And you don't recover from that too easily. So, but you do recover. And my third point is something that that'll bring that back around. But it's okay not to follow the training, but understand why you're not. So if
for me, I understand what you're saying, Dar, because 10-4-1 is like, I don't have the time to frig around and do 10 posts. I'm like, besides which, I don't want people saying, oh, here comes obnoxious again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just me. That's just me. And some people are like, hey, where did Terry go? He hasn't posted for 2 days. Well, he's established a pattern.
Yeah.
So, you know, and sometimes less is more. And sometimes, you know, you get the sort of sense that people want more from you based on whatever your role might be.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's also, like you were saying with Jay, there's a fatigue factor.
Yes.
If you're always trying to fit somebody's protocol or somebody's trend, you're going to get tired if it's not true to you. If you're a social butterfly, I don't want to say that because that puts you in a box too. But if you're somebody that loves being out there on social media, go for it. That's you. That's who you are. Yes. But if you're not, it's okay. So Lori knows that a lot of my connections are very personal. A lot of them have been over 6 or 7 contacts before I actually get to them. And then I nag them because that's the caregiver in me. It's like, are you wearing your socks? If you see my post, it's like hashtag put your socks on. You know, there's a lot of that type of persistence that I have adopted because I know that they need it. I know that I need it. Because if you're not reminding them, they're not going to do it. So a lot of people are like kids. It's okay. But as far as the negativity of following certain things or your resistance, chances are, if you're really digging, you've been told something in the past. You've been told something that makes you resistant to that. Either by self-talk, putting yourself down, or by somebody else. So I'm a twin. I'm the youngest in my family, even though I'm a twin. And that was always something, well, you're the youngest, you don't know anything. What would you know? Yeah. You know, so here I am studying, I'm on the internet all the time, and I'll come up with something that says, well, how would you know that? You know, so there's always that thought pattern that gets placed in your mind. And to be honest, I've never been one for affirmations or that type of a thing. But whether you like it or not, you're repeating those in your mind all the time. And what you repeat in your mind sticks. So that comes to my third thing. There's 3 little words. So how do I go this? So at the conference, Jay was up there and it was a little Q&A with Jay. And he was asked, what 3 words would you tell your 21-year-old self? Knowing how far he's come, what 3 words would you tell yourself? And that actually stopped time for me. I don't even remember what Jay said. And this is where if I get emotional, just put it off. I'm trying to be stone-faced here, but
you don't have to be stone-faced.
It's us. It's us girls. And
if I keep laughing, it'll be okay.
Okay.
But my 3 words, when he said that, what 3 words would you tell yourself? Don't believe them.
Yep. Don't believe them.
Good job.
Don't believe them. Go back.
Yep.
When they said you didn't know anything, don't believe them. When they said you'd never make it, don't believe them. Go do it.
That to me, Dar, is Jay's fundamental gift to us. It absolutely is his fundamental gift. The why, the who is all tied up in that.
Yep. Yep. So that was kind of my turning point, is like, I have been believing so many lies about myself, me in business, even though I was successful. I've always been successful at what I do. Like, my friends are like, well, if Darlene's doing it, she's going to do well. But
Yes.
the perfectionist in me, I'm not going to do anything if I'm going to fail. I'm not going to even set a goal. So the 90-day action plan for me, sorry, it went in the garbage. I can't set a goal because I won't fail. It may take me longer to succeed.
Yep.
There's a difference.
Yep.
I'm not saying that failure is bad. I'm saying I will stick to it until I succeed. There may be roadblocks. That's okay. That doesn't mean that it's, that's why I don't like the goal setting thing, because for me, I need to have enough time. I'm not going to put a timeline on it.
Right.
I'll do my deadlines, but as far as a goal, I'm not too keen on that. But
I love what you're saying here, though. Like, it's not the same as deadlines. I'll do my deadlines, because we do operate on this thing called time. But to put that kind of pressure on yourself and then throw yourself out there for people to be judging whether or not you hit that goal.
Yeah.
I think it's hard on people who have been wounded somehow along the way. I'm one of them. Like, your tears come, my tears come. Yeah. And I'm crying for you, but I'm also crying for me, because it hurts and it happens.
So that's one of the things that Ray Higdon was good about, although I'm not big on cold calls, and I probably will never do it because I don't want to face that rejection and that who do you think you are and that whole thing. But one of the things that he has proposed to a lot of things is don't be addicted to the outcome. Yes. Be addicted to the activity. So instead of the outcome being, I'm going to go share the socks, they're going to join my business and we're going to be a team, it's, I need to go help that person, period. What comes out of that is fine, but don't set your goal as like, I'm going to reach director by such and such a time, because you can't direct that. You can't make that happen. But what you can do is reach people and encourage people and alongside people until they become team leaders and you become director.
Yes.
Different.
Yeah. So, big time. And then you're not setting yourself up for disappointment in yourself, because that's what you've got to get away from, you know?
Yeah. So that was that whole thing about when you stop believing the things that people have told you in a negative sense and start just doing. Just go and do it and forget what they've said. But that was a big turning point for me. Then it was more of I just stopped in at a lady's place. I've been driven by her place probably 13 times in the last 3 months and thinking, I got to stop in there. I got to stop in there. I got to stop in there. I knew her from way back when. She's a reflexologist. And finally, I just bit the bullet and said, you know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? I'm going to stop in. And she could say no, and I'm okay with that. But I was true to myself. I stopped in. That's the biggest thing. So again, it's not the outcome. It's not, did she say yes or no? The victory was that I stopped in. I didn't believe the lie that said, you shouldn't, you're intruding, you're assuming, all that kind of stuff. Put it aside, do your 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do it.
I love that.
That's the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins is great.
Love her. Oh, she's so great. I watched a TED Talk.
Yeah, for pushing.
Write her name down, girls. Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
She's really
5-second rule.
5-second rule.
But that's one thing that then your success comes when you are true to yourself, not in the fact that anything actually could happen in that encounter. Having said that, I sat there and her in her house coat and me with my Vox backpack for an hour and a half and chatted. And she ended up picking up a pair of socks for herself and her husband. Robbins is not Robinson.
Oh, sorry.
Robin. That's okay. 5-second rule. But yeah, she, be true to yourself, and don't follow those lies that are telling you, oh, what are they going to think? And you know what? If you're doing something because of who you are, because you want to help, because you want to be a mom, because you want to be an encourager, whatever your who is, when you're true to that, you don't have to worry about the outcome.
No, and to quote Jay on that very point, he used to say, nothing is more powerful than the power of pure intent.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'll end with, is that when you follow that, when you're true to who you are, you can do anything. It's the restrictions that everybody else has told you that's holding you back, because you're believing them. So
yeah. And I think we have to challenge ourselves to that point of being true to who you are. Because being true to who you are is not couch potato, sucky baby, I can't do this. Being true to yourself is, what am I here for, if not to make a difference? And if people aren't ready for that, you won't know until you try, and you might have to go through 5 to get 1.
Yeah.
That's
okay, because it doesn't matter about the numbers. It's a matter of being true. And then the people that you are going to reach will find you.
Yes, that is true.
I think so too. And there's a filtering process,
don't worry about the people on your list. Worry about the people that are going to be drawn to you, and focus on those, because they're watching. And when you become who you are, all of a sudden they're like, I need to talk to her. I need to contact her.
Yes.
I need to go do whatever. They will find you. It's okay. We don't have to do the whole, I need to be such and such by such and such a time.
Yeah.
The more you're true to yourself, it may take longer, but you are going to be so much happier in the end of it.
And girls, I think we have to understand that we're wired differently. Like, I've heard a PhD in neuroscience say, guys are the computer, but girls are the internet. So guys are kind of like, and I know my own husband is like this, give me my checklist, and if I can sit down in my lounge at night and say, I did 10 things, I feel really good about myself.
I'm done.
And that's, they're task oriented, where women, and I had a friend who, his kids are the Reclaws. Do you know the Reclaws? This young, country band, brother and sister band. They sing the theme song for the CFL opening every Friday night. Anyway, look them up. So those two are my friend's kids, and this is my friend and what he talked about one time. Him and the mother of those Reclaw kids, they're 2 of 5, were dating, and they were heading off to a 10K run. So he's a big hotshot hockey player in his early 20s, and she's like a cutie patootie little spin instructor and stuff, and they're going to do this 10K run together. So she shows up in the proper attire. He shows up in work boots, because 10K run, I can do that backwards, So 2K's in, he's dying. She finishes, and he talked about the fact that as the girls were running, if somebody got in trouble, the rest of the girls stopped their run. It didn't matter the time. They're gathering around the person who was struggling for whatever reason. The guys are stepping over each other to get to the finish line, right? So that's why I think we really needed a Women of Box Life group.
Exactly.
And even the freedom to be yourself. So if you're a woman that's stuck with a guy's brain that says, I got to get past these people instead of stopping, that's okay. Be true to yourself, but don't judge other people for being who they are.
That's true. And try, if you're getting past them, to not step on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Step around at least.
Yeah.
One of the things that you talked about with the 90-day action plan, I was laughing when you were talking about that, because I was the same way. I was
He's going to kill me.
For the love of God. I know. Sorry. He already knows from me. But one of the things that I found what worked for me, because I understand the value in writing down what you want and that kind of thing. I do understand that, but I agree with you 100% that for me personally, writing it down as a will buy this, will buy then, does not do good things for my rhythm at all.
But that word rhythm.
It takes me out of my rhythm for sure. So what I found works for me is, instead of that, what I do is at the end of the day, every day, I write down the successes I had and I find 5. Like
Love.
every day I find 5 successes. And like you were saying, Darlene, sometimes success is that I stopped at that place to talk to that person that I was, have been avoiding or whatever, blocked from going in for so many times. That's a success. Just stopping. The stopping is the success. What happened after that could be another success. But the fact that you stop there, that's one. And I find when I do that, when I journal that way, for me, it's much better. Much better, because I do see the value in writing things down. The other thing I wanted to say, you talk about the affirmations and that kind of thing, and that used to be so foreign to me. I thought it was very woo-woo and ridiculous. Also, though, I used to be on anxiety medication and antidepressants, so there's that. Clearly I had a lot of self-chatter going on. So the choice is mine, right? I can say that's woo-woo and I don't want to do it, but at the end of the day, there is chatter going on. So if I choose to put positive chatter in, that changes a lot of things.
It does. And if I can add to that, that's one of the things that I've added to my way of doing things. I started to say, well, what are the 3 things I want that I know about me? So if you want to think about this, find out 3 things that you think or that that people either respect you for or love you for, or that you would never admit to yourself. That's the key.
Yep.
So I'm going to say my 3, actually it's 3 plus a bonus, but these are the things that I've been told that I have not believed. So my whole don't believe them goes both ways. So I'm really putting myself out there because it's going to sound very egotistical and I don't want that, but I also want you to see kind of that if you're going to not believe them, you have to believe something too.
Yes.
So believe the truth about yourself. So mine is, I speak with authority. I lead with compassion. I am respected. I have nothing to fear.
Amazing.
Oh, I like that.
When I finally got to believe that about myself is when I really started to grow. When I stopped believing what everybody else told me in the negative and started believing the things that they say about me in the positive, the world changed. And
Brilliant. I lead with authority. I am respected. What's the third one? And then I have nothing to fear?
I speak with authority.
Yep.
I lead with compassion.
I lead with compassion.
I am respected.
Yep.
I have nothing to fear.
That is genius. Wow.
If you can say the things, and you may have something else. You may have something else about you. I am a quiet leader. But you are a leader. You're a quiet leader. You're an introvert. You sit in the corner. But you are compassionate. You go out and do something for somebody. But you don't have to put it on social media. So there's truths about yourself that sorry, my cat's tail is in the way. She keeps walking by. There are truths about yourself that you need to write down and speak to yourself every day to replace the beliefs, the lies about yourself that other people have said to you or that you've said to yourself. I'm an introvert. I can't speak in front of people is a lie.
Thank you. Say that again. Say that again.
I'm an introvert. I can't speak in front of people is a lie.
Yes.
Eric Worre is an introvert.
Yep.
He had to go back to his hotel room. He's my spirit animal. Like I can't, if any of you have been seeing me at a conference, as soon as the dance starts, I'm gone because I don't interact with people that well. I love people. I care about people, but I don't necessarily need to be with people. But that doesn't mean that I have to avoid people.
One of the things I'm loving about this call, this might be my favorite girl talk so far. But anyways, one of the things it's really resonating with me, and it's resonating, the messages are resonating for me also for people that I can share them with, which I'm loving. But some the other things that I just want to talk about that are stemming from this is, as women, I had this amazing conversation yesterday with somebody, a new friend, and we were talking about women and our intuition and how strong it is and how many, and I would say most of us have spent a great deal of our lives trying to avoid it, trying to push it down because it doesn't necessarily fit into mainstream success. What success looks like on TV, in the magazines, on social media. Intuition doesn't look like that, or doesn't feel like that. So what I would encourage all of you to do, and this is certainly something that I'm working on, and I'm having success from working on this, is follow your intuition.
Big time.
Trust it. You
Big time.
are right. You do know. You know yourself better than anybody else. You know your spouse better than anybody else. You know your kids better than anybody else. Don't doubt that. Don't doubt it.
And if that's the case, then one of your statements may need to be, I am intuitive.
Yeah.
I trust my intuition.
Yes.
And don't say, I will trust my intuition.
I do.
I trust my intuition.
Yes.
And then when you get to a situation that says, I don't know if I should do this, but you think you should, repeat your affirmation. I trust my intuition. I'm going to go do it. It may have a negative effect. I will warn you. It may have some sort of a negative effect simply because that person was not ready yet. But you've opened the door for them.
Brilliant.
Your intuition was right.
And you've challenged yourself to go just a little bit further down your own path.
Yeah. But they may resist you, but that may be part of their journey.
Yes.
You've been true to yourself.
You don't have to own their journey.
You've been true to yourself, which means that they will grow through this. And you may not see the flower at the end. You've just planted the seed.
Exactly.
Somebody else waters it. Somebody else is going to weed it. And you may never see the flower, but know that it's there.
Totally.
I think a great takeaway from this is that we each can write our affirmations. Maybe that would be a good post in the Women of Vox, is to say, what are your 4 affirmations that you're going to say to yourself every day? Take a little time to figure out what your personal affirmations should be. And then, write those on a card, and just we could hold each other, accountable that way. Because,
and
Darlene, what you're sharing, for me, that is a huge, profound takeaway of, I need to every day speak what my truths are, and focus on those, because what we focus on is going to grow.
Right. So it's not even an affirmation, because the people that are against affirmations, they're going to resist that. What I want you to think about it is, it's not an affirmation. It's a truth. It's a belief.
Yeah.
So write down three truths about yourself and a promise. 3 truths and a promise.
Okay. Yeah.
So my 3 truths are: I speak with authority, I lead with compassion, I am respected. Those are 3 truths that I know are true, but I have failed to believe them in the past.
Yep.
My promise is, I have nothing to fear.
Yep.
3 truths and a promise.
And can I just add to it by saying, girls, we might know some truth about ourselves, and as time rolls out, we may have truth revealed to us about ourselves, so we're in a state of growth ourselves, about coming into our own and hitting our stride and aging gracefully and gaining wisdom and all of that. Because what was true about us in our 20s is different to now, and none of it is necessarily that was true then and it's not true now. So, I'm questioning now, what was that all about in my 20s? No, it's a progression.
Yeah.
It's a progression.
I would also encourage all of you, when someone, especially another woman, gives you a compliment, believe it.
Yes.
Believe it.
Pat Grass, hello.
Believe it, Lori Dawson.
Yeah, just say thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Because that's the gracious thing to do anyway,
But
don't say, oh, no, you're just saying that, or, oh, no, that's not very true. You know what?
I have a bad habit of doing that. And
yes,
Krista
you do.
called me on it. Krista called me on it. I'm getting better. Thanks, Krista.
You are getting better. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody else I just thought of one thing. I'm going to put a post in there in the Women of Vox group to everybody, share your takeaways, because I'm realizing just by what Noelle said that we're all going to get different takeaways from this.
Yeah.
And as Darlene has said, and is so true. Even if it's not your personal takeaway, it could be for a teammate, right? So if we all write them down on one post and then direct our teammates there, then, you know, what maybe one of my teammates relates with something that Ellen cares about and maybe, or took away from it. And maybe one of my teammates relates to Mark more than they relate to what I took away from it. So I think that might kind of discussion on there might be valuable. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Brilliant. Like the more that we can throw at the wall, that's just a poor choice of words, but let's put it all there, because for those that aren't on the call and maybe can't get to the recording, maybe they're just, you know, sitting waiting for an appointment or something and they're scrolling, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So we have Darlene, that was an awesome presentation. Thank you. Really
yeah, and totally easy. That's what I preach about this group, is it's totally easy. We are just around our own little campfire of sorts, you know.
Yeah.
And a certain amount of this you don't want to just throw out there amongst, you know, people that or, you know, like what I'm getting at here is I'm really glad the guys aren't here.
It's us. Yeah. This is our space, and everybody, you know, everybody needs what they need. So a lot of people do better here. And that's true. That's why pretty much every corporation in North America has a women of group. That's why I started this, because that's the world I come from. I was like, where is it? It doesn't exist. Let's make it happen for that reason. Right. And it's not just us, it's women in general do better if they work together. Really.
But here's what we also want to do. We want to say, okay, you know, we've had this amazing kind of like pep talk, and, you know, all of what was said here is extremely valuable, and it equips us. Be true to yourself in terms of what you can do with it, you know?
Yeah. So Denise was posting, I don't know how long ago, I don't know, I'm not even sure if Denise is still on the call, but she had posted about, I need a little bit of pep talk. And I'm seeing that she's posting here about, you know, the goal setting and failing at a goal. We can set ourselves up for failure. And that's where the 3 truths and a promise comes in big time, is that you need to believe in who you are. Your success will come, and you can set your goals. Be careful of your timelines, because you can only be true to yourself and what you're doing. You can't rely on other people to be true to what they're doing in order to fulfill your goal. So,
and that's why you put the caveat in, like you're saying, Darlene. Like, and so for me, you know, Krista and I, we did a revisit of a plan we had that we decided was a bit too big for November. And we decided, okay, instead of going at this, like, you know, 8-course meal first, let's throw some appetizers out first and get there in a more practical, realistic way.
Yep.
So
and it will morph into what it needs to be.
Yes.
But you have to understand that. Don't go through with something if you know it's bad.
Or you're questioning it at all. Like, be all in. And, you know, this really does tie in with a lot of what Jay has said to us, because he has said belief is paramount. And, you know, I remember from last summer in the city, one of the big takeaways for me was it's a lie. You know, so if people challenge you on whatever, like the socks don't work, well, we have brain maps. We know they work. They might not work for what you're expecting, but, you know, you might have to adapt your expectations based on a clearer understanding of this technology. And it's up to us to work with people so that they don't throw up their hands and the whole mission gets discredited, you know? Yeah. If, you know, and you'll find the 2%, Jay refers to that number, that people just want to, you know, pee on your campfire, then get rid of those people. Like, there is an element of those people out there. And it doesn't mean they're gone forever. I remember arguing till I, you know, in the moment had an epiphany with an engineer who was questioning the demo because of the angles, you know? And I thought, you just want me to know that you're a smart engineer. And all due respect, you know, this isn't working. This conversation isn't working. So I'll, you know, respect what you had to say and go have a think, and maybe you can do the same, and see you later. Next.
Yeah. Next.
Yep.
Bless and release. I want to share with you guys, this keeps popping up through this whole call for me, so I feel like I need to share it with you. So we were talking at several points in this call about, being true to yourself, and, duplication is an important part of this, but it's not, you don't have to duplicate, I think, what you see is a big part of the message. And I want to tell you a little personal story. Last summer, towards the end of the summer, early fall, I found myself spontaneously having a conversation with Jay, and I was feeling frustrated. I was getting on the verge of getting a little bit down on myself, and I was talking to him about how the process I was going through, trying to duplicate what the other male leaders were doing, and how I felt like it wasn't working for me. And I was starting to feel kind of defeated. And I was like, but I know I just have to suck it up, and I have to go, and I will, Jay, I will. Like, I'm in 100% with you, and I'll do this. And he sat down beside me on the couch, and he put his hands on top of my hands, and he looked me straight in the eye, and he said, "No, don't." And I was like, oh shit. He doesn't think I can do it. And that's self-talk, right? And he said, "You do you."
You do you? Is that what he said?
Yeah. He said, "You do you, Krista. You already know how to do it."
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
It was big.
Yeah.
It's huge. And may I say that as much as Jay is visceral, and we do see sides of him that, and some of us don't see those sides of him that are a little bit scary. That's Jay at his core. That's Jay at his core. He loves us. End of story. And do we frustrate him? Yeah, but so do our kids frustrate us, and we don't
Yeah.
love it on them, And frankly, he frustrates us sometimes. So there.
Yeah, exactly. Give and take. Give and take.
Yeah. Yes. Good job, ladies.
Yeah. Does anybody who's muted want to unmute themselves? You want to say
Yeah,
something?
come on, talk to us.
We got this channel for another 15 minutes, so have at her. If you want to say something, we're glad you're all here.
I'll just say that this was amazing. It's just so, I guess, just to have just the girls is awesome.
Yeah.
There's something like totally different about it.
Yeah.
Everybody just being themselves, being real.
And we don't have to dry up those tears, because sometimes this is freaking hard.
So true.
But we know that we're going to help people. So we just have to do it and just keep believing it. And yeah, just know that we're all doing the right thing. Lead from your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. And once we get that, and I so appreciate Darlene's story, because she did stay true to herself, and she did stay open to learning in the process about herself and about others, and refining herself, and Stephen Covey's sharpen the saw and all of that. And then all of a sudden you hit your stride with those videos this summer, Dar. We were talking about practitioner event, and that morphed into nothing yet.
It's coming.
It's coming. And of course it is. And what I was talking about earlier, girls, with respect to what we decided to postpone, was the big ADHD event that I have delusions of grandeur about. But as Krista and I were talking, and some of the other girls, Darlene included, we need to get there. Like, if you're going to climb Everest, you got to train for the endeavor, right? So we said, why don't what we do is get right back to, and this is actually, frankly, a compliment to the Monday night training call, which said, keep it simple, and, don't get so, this is my interpretation, don't get so crazy. Like, go and talk to a single person on the parent committee and say, what does the parent committee do, as opposed to, hey, we got the answer for your parent committee. Because that's me. That's how I'm just like, instead of listening, I'm solving. I'm always solving, you know. I guess I don't know if that's a firstborn thing or what, but can we commit to finding someone on a parent committee of a school sometime and getting an idea what role they serve, and then asking them if any of what we have to offer would be of interest, and then get before them, even if it's not the committee at large, it could be 2 people off the committee, and share with them what's been happening with kids. Darlene's videos with the kids are going to be invaluable if we can get to an opportunity like that. But it starts with one.
And I would say, if you're not sure who, like if you don't have school age children, you don't have to, again, path of least resistance. You don't have to go cold calling into the school and like trying to just find a friend, find a coworker, find somebody that has school age kids and ask them.
Yep.
How do I find this person?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be stressful. Just
like my daughter's little one just started JK, so she's just learning her ropes, but pretty soon she'll have the names of some people on that committee, and you know, she'll be able to say, oh, this is who, and you know, and let it roll out organically, but be in motion somehow towards that end.
Do it.
And if that's not your shtick, then you know what is. Like, somebody has someone who knows someone in a retirement home, or you know, is there an association of RMTs in the area, and you know, what's the role of that particular group of people, or the Lions Club, or just anything. My friend Carol, 72 years old, she's got the Moose Lodge looking at a fundraiser, you know, but it's been 2 years in the making, and she's got friends on the, like, as members of the lodge. So yeah, think outside of the box, but transition up to the people.
I think that goes right alongside with figuring out who you are, because if your passion is for kids, go there. Yeah. But if it's not, don't go looking for schools to help.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
If your passion is something else, if your passion is for the marathon runners or the Ironmen, go find them.
Yeah.
But follow who you are. Don't try and fit the mold of you know, we have to have so many of these and so many of that, and we're going to do it this way. Follow who you are. It will dictate, and it will dictate very clearly what you need to do and who you need to reach, and then go do it.
And don't compare yourself to other people.
No way, Jose, because you're
not other Vox people, not other business people, not other MLM people. No, you're on your journey. Embrace it. Don't pay attention to, like, you can watch and learn from other people, but don't do that emotional comparison thing. I see some of you doing it. I know you're doing it. I see you seeing other women that are super successful, and you are trying, and you're not connecting or moving as quickly as they did. It's fine. You're on your own journey. I've been here for 2 years. I'm still a team leader. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it my way. Mm-hmm. And it's working for me. So do it your way. You can learn and be around other people for sure. Embrace what they've got to offer and take away the things that work for you. But please don't put yourself down in comparison to other people. Stop doing that.
No, Kim says comparison is a paralyzer, and it is absolutely true. The only thing we need to do is not let ourselves off the hook. So that's the other side of the coin, right? We don't want to be so kind to ourselves that we're like, I think I'm just going to eat bonbons today. No, that's not helping anybody, you know.
But I think that's not being true to yourself either.
Yes.
I mean, if we were as humans, as women, designed to sit on the couch and eat bonbons, we would.
That's true.
But look at us. We're the busiest bees on the planet.
Yep.
So be true. Find your truth and do it.
Sometimes I think, too, that it's really about helping ourselves as we help others. And by that, I mean, like, I consider this group and this initiative growth for me an absolute necessity of evolution of my own journey. So, you know, do we have to, is selling socks the definition of our personal growth and success? No, but it is a means to other kinds of growth, and the reciprocal is true. You know, our growth is a means to us advancing, you know, the mission, so to speak. So it's kind of circular.
It is. It's literally called the circle of life.
Yeah. Literally. Girls, this has been, you know, emo.
Yeah. It's been a good one, ladies. Thank you for being here. So here's the thing. You know, we have this Women of Vox Facebook group. Please invite the women that you know, whether they're connected to you or not, that are Vox Life practitioners or associates. Invite them to be a part of this. We know that many people take the opportunity to watch these recordings, which of course we appreciate, and we hope that you get value from them. Post in that Women of Vox group, okay? Like, even if you think that it's just a little thing, especially if you think that you're the only one, do it. Especially if you're like, this, I did this little thing and it worked for me, but I'm the only one that was worried about that. Post it, because I promise you there's somebody else that'll benefit from it, okay?
Hey, on that note, let's hear your post about let's have your post about your networking.
Oh, yeah.
Your tiny group.
Oh, yes. Ladies, so listen to this. Yesterday, I love networking. And I will say that I do have, I have to 1, 2, 3 go through the door a lot of the time, but I do enjoy myself once in there. So I'm back in Toronto. Many of you know I work my Vox business in the summertime from our cottage, and so I'm back in Toronto, and it's a big adjustment, kids school, I signed up for this networking event yesterday because I thought, okay, that's going to be my like boom for this week of when I'm spending a lot of time talking to a lot of people about Vox, and that, you know, that'll be my 2 hours that I'm dedicating to reach as many people as I can. And I arrive at the event, and there are 2 people there besides me. 1, 2, 3 of us all together. Whole event, 3 people, 1 table. And I thought I've learned to change my mindset. Things I would have said in the past, I just laughed and said to myself, well, there's a reason I'm here. And, you know, we'll just, I'm going to have some lovely brunch, and it'll, you know, we'll see why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here yet, but we'll see. So both of those women now have patches on. Both of them are blown away by our technology. Both of them are writing a list of people that they're going to be getting socks for. And one of them is planning on signing up as an associate with me. So if I had gone into a giant room, those would have been, I would have hoped to have more people in socks, but I don't know that my goal would have been to have even an associate come out of a very first meeting with new people, and that happened. So all that to say, just take it as it comes. Do your best. Yep. Put yourself where, you know, in the right spots. Look for them. Find them, whatever works for you, networking, whatever it is that works for you, but be there. Be there and be where you need to be to meet the people that you want to meet, and they'll show up. There could have been 20 more people there, and those 2 were the 2 I was supposed to talk to. So I'm glad that there was no extra clutter, and the 3 of us concentrated on our engagement.
Don't prejudge, and just get in the game.
Yeah. And show up. Be where the people you want to. If you want to meet runners, be at the marathons. If you want to meet hockey players, be at the hockey tournaments. If you want to meet holistic people, be where they are. Be there. Because you can't find them if you're just wandering around. You have to be thoughtful about where they're going to be, and then show up.
And keep your antenna up for when you're not expecting, you know, for things to, like Terry will forever say to me, do you have, I'll check. Well, where are you? Oh, I'm in town. Well, why is not your inventory in the car? Well, I was just running to Walmart. You know what I mean? And Walmart, I wasn't going to accost people and talk to them about Vox, but he needed product. So I should have had that product in the car for not preconceived reasons of my own, but what if this develops?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And if you travel around like many of us do in the city, that you can't carry all your stuff because, you carry a purse, make sure you got those patches, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So true. So true. And Darlene, on that note, we were in a restaurant together, and this man he was pushing he was a train wreck, honestly, just to look at him. And Darlene's wearing a patch, and she's like humming and humming, I'm going to go patch him. So she very politely goes up to him. She, thank goodness, is wearing a patch, because I'm thinking he's going to think that's a fentanyl patch. I'm not going up to anybody and saying, hey, I want to patch you. It'll be like, who are you, crazy lady? But Darlene handled it so beautifully by introducing herself, giving her credentials, showing this guy that she was wearing the patch so that it was safe. It was small town. And so it rolled out beautifully. And I'm back there saying, I'm heading for the hills. Like, what if he says, get away from me?
Okay, let's talk about that. We like that.
You also have to understand.
Yeah.
You also have to understand that we saw the same couple the last time we were in that restaurant about 3 months prior, a month prior, and I didn't do it then.
Yes.
So
and
that's
I knew
success.
that
You write that down. Success.
Well, it wasn't that. It was being true to myself, because I am a helper. And I didn't do it last time, and I felt awful because I thought that person's going to go home and they're never going to know. And when they were there the second time, it's like, I can't deny myself twice.
Yes. Yeah. Deny myself twice.
I like that. So here's the thing. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Let me just tell you that. Okay? So, like, what's the worst thing somebody's going to think? That lady's crazy. Well, what if you change that person's life?
Yeah.
Like, call me crazy all day long. If I change one life out of 5, if I change one life out of 100, those other 99 people can call me crazy.
Yeah.
Because that person who's bringing their family and crying to me about how I've changed their life is worth it.
Yeah.
Those other 99
the
Flat
people. Earth Society called the round Earth people crazy, right? So let's remember that.
100%. I just wanted to say one other thing on social media, because I know there's lots of people that think that the social media posting, and again, I don't think you should post on social media if it's not in your
wheelhouse,
but understand why you're resisting, as Darlene said, and know the facts. So the facts are, when they talk about those ratios, and I don't even know what they are because I don't actually go by them. I just post about my life and my business all the time. But people are not like, okay, here's an example. Go to your own friends list, click on one of your friends, and then go and read their wall. Go and read through their whole wall and ask yourself, how many of those posts did I actually see during the week? Because just because you post 10 times a day on social media doesn't mean that your friends see 10 posts from you. They might see 2. That's just the algorithms of Facebook. So if you don't want to post on social media, then don't post on social media. But if you're afraid of posting on social media because you feel like people are going to think that you're a nag or a hound or that kind of thing, understand that the algorithms of Facebook won't put your post up to all of your posts up to all of your friends. They will not see all 10 of them every day. They just won't. So,
okay, well, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, so just be aware of that. If that's your reason, if you are resisting because you think that you're going to look like a crazy sock lady, just know that the algorithms are not popping your stuff up as much as you think they are.
Okay, that's good to know.
And on that note, I have to go for a meeting.
Okay.
But this has been amazing.
Huge thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
wonderful.
Darlene. Really, 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 really great. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Please invite invite your women to join us. And I've said this before, there's lots of women out there that have joined your team to be wholesale members, to have wholesale memberships. Invite them to be here too, because you never know what might spark somebody to want to take it a step further and help somebody else, and that will all help us to serve the mission of helping 1 billion people, right? We
Love that phrase. Love that phrase. Serve the mission.
Yeah, we have to work together. And Jay did this for us. Like, he's given us this opportunity. We have to honor it by showing up. So so invite those people. I say that because I originally was thinking of this as for practitioners and active associates that are like business builders. But I started inviting people that are wholesale members, and they're quite happy to be a part of it now. So
yeah. It's part of their journey and their growth, perhaps, you know.
Right.
It's a way, back to my earlier point, of helping people as opposed to outfitting them with product. They might need this kind of comfort zone to get to that place of, you know, signing on and starting to share.
Right. And they may have had a previous MLM experience that did not resonate with them, where we're quite a bit different than many, I think.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, a beautiful weekend, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon.
In 2 weeks, I'm not sure who we've got. I know Sierra Grannon.
Laura Armstrong is going to join us.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yes, and she's going to talk about embracing the no. Not go for the no. It's not go for the no. It's embracing the no.
Okay. And there's a difference. I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Lori.
Busy.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
everybody.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
Darlene.
you.
Star. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye for now.